I'm Keel Krumnacker, and I was part of the France and England tour of 2014. Essentially, what I wanted to do was take some of the stereotypes that we have all heard, we all think are true, but we've never really known before. I wanted to take those and see just how true they were based on my experience in France. I got a couple of my classmates, and I just asked them about a couple of the main stereotypes and what they thought.
I didn't really notice the French smelling good or bad, so I would have to say they probably didn't smell bad enough for me to notice and care.
I'm not sure if the French smell bad personally, but the city did.
I don't think the French people smell bad at all.
Yes, everybody smells poorly. The French don't stink though. Smelling and stinking is a little different.
I definitely think the French were in better shape. I didn't see very many obese people over there, so that was definitely a change from us.
Yeah, I think they are in better shape. They all seem pretty skinny. They eat like smaller portions in their meals. I think they definitely like us.
Okay, yeah, the French people are in much better shape. I didn't see one fat person in France that, like, other than tourists.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like really, really skinny and tall.
Their shape, I mean, they're not as fit as I am. I'm super fit. I ran today, 5 a.m. It was pretty fun. I only did 3 miles. But in general, I believe because of their active lifestyle, the fact that they, take more public transportation, things like that, they might have the more of an opportunity to burn calories throughout the day.
I thought that the French guys were a little more girly than what I expected them to be, but they weren't overall very feminine.
Yeah, I think they are. I've seen more of that.
Yeah, I think Frenchmen are sissies. They're not very muscly
Do you mean because they wear scarves? Because I wear scarves. I like scarves. I didn't really feel that or sense that. I think maybe because the French language is such a more romantic language than our language. They might seem like they have more feminine tendencies, but I definitely did think that.
Okay. I didn't think that their fashion was as upscale as I expected it to be. It was more laid back and casual.
Yeah, I think they were. They all kind of had slick back hair. They dressed nice. They're a working guy. They always in the tux or something. So, yes.
Yeah, I think the French people are really fashionable. Even men wear scarves.
Yeah, did you hear what I just said about scarves? Of course they're more fashionable than Americans. Like me, I wear scarves. I love them. I love high fashion.
I definitely thought that the French didn't like us, like, being there at all. They kind of were really rude to us and didn't really help us when we tried speaking French.
I think some of them do, like in the shops and stuff, until they got aggravated. They didn't speak French or something. I think some of them do, yeah.
Yeah, I think French people do hate Americans because they were really rude to us. Like, even at some restaurants, they were kind of like, they pretended that they didn't hear me when I would, like, ask for things.
I don't really think the French hate Americans. I think Americans like to be hated, so immediately when someone, just any one person, doesn't like everything that we do, we think, oh, they're all bad. But I never have felt the French hate Americans. In fact, when we were in Normandy, I know a lot of the French, just seeing American kids wander around, felt pretty good that we were there because they appreciate everything that the American government did for them, particularly in and after World War II.
So now it's a question of what does this mean? I think this says a lot about how we let stereotypes and stuff that we think to be true define an entire group of people before we even get to know them. And I think it might even have swayed some of the experiences that people have. I know it certainly affected me. Going in thinking something, obviously I'm going to point out every little thing that I can, every little thing, because I'm looking for it. And I think that that's something that we shouldn't really do as much as we do. More take stuff from experience and less from what we've heard or what we think we know. It also speaks a little bit about the whole experience of traveling to where someone who hasn't traveled much isn't going to have the sort of experience that someone who has possesses. Because now I have an experience. I can say, oh, maybe I did get some sort of resentment in France. Maybe it seemed like it was because I was American. Maybe it wasn't. Someone who hasn't really seen another culture besides their own is still going to base everything around them on stereotypes, because that's a world that they just haven't experienced yet. So I think that travel is probably the best thing to break down these stereotypical walls. I guess the best thing that I can come away saying after making this project is stereotypes are not nearly as true as we like to play them out to be. Sure, maybe there's some cases that they are true, but for the most part, it's not nearly a majority.